This is the L2C Media Network, and you are watching the L2C. Try it again. You're watching Sports Final with me and my special guest, Uno. Yep, there she is. What you gotta say, girl? Come on, what you gotta say? Well, you were chatty before. How's everything? Good. You just wanna take off, don't you? Okay. You can do that. Just come on. There you go. All right, let's get to it. And let's go through it. We got, I think you can say, a very heavy day in sports. So, let's get on with it with a little baseball for you. And right now we're about to go into finals mode and wrap everything up. But right now, let's get to some of the games that are still going on, not even becoming finals just yet. Okay, here we go. Final score. Oh, are you sure that's a final? That can't be a final. It looks like a 10-inning game. We'll come back to... Thank you. Nice correction. Final score, Atlanta 9, Philadelphia 5. This one's going to go final. San Francisco 9. Texas does a miracle and scores about, 5, maybe 6 runs. Bottom of the ninth inning, New York Yankees over the Minnesota Twins, 8-3. Bottom of the eighth, Chicago White Sox about to hand Toronto Maple. The Toronto Blue Jays a loss, 6-1 score right now. And the end of the sixth, it is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim beating Kansas City right now, 6-0. Final scores, Cleveland 10, St. Louis 1. Oh, we got 2 other games, that are still going on. Bottom of the fifth inning, the Chicago Cubs lead San Diego 1-0. Bottom of the sixth inning, Oakland leads Arizona 5-1. Now let's go for the finals. We just gave you Cleveland 10, St. Louis 1. The defending World Series champs, Los Angeles Dodgers 5, Pittsburgh 3, Baltimore 10, New York Mets 3, Miami 6, Colorado 2, Houston 7, Boston 1, Milwaukee 5, Cincinnati 1, Detroit over Seattle 5-3, and Tampa Bay over Washington 3-1. Not bad at all. Can we attempt, not schedule but the standings, can we attempt to show the standings right now, or would that be impossible? No. Well, you want to try it like this? We'll try it like this. Okay, well, I guess. Can we try? Yeah. You guys? We'll do it like this then. The American League East, it is still Tampa Bay. They are 1 games up on Boston, 6.5 up on Toronto, 7 up on the New York Yankees, and 6 in the Central Division. White Sox still on top. They're 4 up on Cleveland, 6.5 up on Kansas City, 11.5 on Detroit, and 12 up on Minnesota. And in the West, it's Oakland top dog, Houston half game behind. Seattle's 5.5 up, 5.5 behind. The Angels 6.5, and Texas an even 12. In the National League, it's New Mets. They're 3 up on Atlanta, 3.5 up on Philadelphia, 6.5 up on Miami, and 7 up on Washington. Meanwhile, in the Central, this one's the one you got to watch in the National League between Milwaukee, the Chicago Cubs, and yeah, I'm going to say it's St. Louis. Milwaukee, 1 game up on the Cubs, 3 games up on St. Louis, 5 games up on Cincinnati, and 10.5 up on Pittsburgh. And in the West, it is San Francisco top dog. They're 1.5 up on San Diego, 2.5 up on the Dodgers, 14 up on Colorado, and 18 up on Arizona. Wow. Those them are big news. All right, let's go to the NBA, where we got 2 games going on. One went final earlier. Philadelphia defeated Atlanta 118-102. They have tied the series 1 game apiece. Meanwhile, at the half, it's the LA Clippers over the Utah Jazz 60-47, and they're part of the playoffs, the second round, as it were. And by the way, just want to make mention that our scoreboard is always sponsored by William Hill Sportsbook. We'll remind you to, let's make it, let's make it interesting, but do so responsibly. All right. We go from that one little error. Wow. Excuse me. All right. Let's get some headlines before we go any further here. And another part of the NBA awards ceremony. Nikola Jokic has won the 2020-2021 Most Valuable Player Award, the league announced Tuesday. Jokic, born in Serbia, is the 3rd European player to win the award, following Giannis Antetokounmpo of Greece and Dirk Nowitzki of Germany and Hakeem Olajuwon, Nigeria, and Steve Nash, Canada, are prior winners as well. In addition, Jokic has also become the lowest drafted player ever to win the award. He was the number 41, the 41st overall pick in the 2014 NBA draft, making him the first second-round choice ever to be named MVP since Willis Reed in 1970. Now, it should be noted, though, that Reed was the number 8 overall pick in the 64 NFL draft, not NFL, NBA draft. So he was not the lowest drafted MVP of all time, and Antetokounmpo and Nash both picked number 15 overall, previously held that distinction. But that underscores just how unlikely Jokic's ascent has been. He entered the NBA as an unathletic center that could barely stay on the floor defensively. He survived because of his gift for passing, and eventually that helped him develop into one of basketball's most dangerous offensive weapons. Jokic became the first player in NBA history this season to average at least 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists on better than 52% shooting. He made 56.6% of his field goals, dwarfing those who approached his raw numbers. His 8.3 assists per game just barely missed Wilt Chamberlain's record of 8.6 for most by a center in a season. And he came only 3-pointers and 13 free throws away from becoming the first center to ever join the 50-40-90 club. He did all of it while missing a single regular season game. Now, Denver needed him for every one of them. The Nuggets tied with the Los Angeles Clippers for number 3 seed at 47-25. They needed the tiebreaker to secure the better position in playoffs. Virtually every other member of the Nuggets was either injured or out with COVID at some point this season, and the team's championship hopes were Devastated by Jamal Murray's torn ACL in April, but Jokic's steady hand kept the Nuggets afloat. Denver went 13-5 after Murray went down, essentially securing the award for Jokic. He is the first Nugget player to win an MVP award in the NBA, but not in all basketball history. Now, Spencer Haywood won the MVP award of the ABA, that's the American Basketball Association, long since defunct, during the 69-70 season, playing for the then Denver Rockets, the team that will one day become the Denver Nuggets. Denver is now the first team to have produced MVP winners in both the ABA and the NBA. Now, Jokic didn't even earn a full-time starting job until the 2016-2017 season. 2 years later, he made his first All-Star team. And 2 years after that, he's grown into an MVP. At 26 years old, he still has most of his career ahead of him, and on a young Nuggets team with unlimited potential, the sky's the limit for this 2021 MVP. What a guy, and what a season he has had. I applaud him for his chutzpah. Well, right now we got more. Oh, we gotta go this way for the other headlines. Yes, we got headlines. Do we have headlines? Yes, we do. Let's give it to you. No, we're still not in the right area. We are not. So if we can, come on. Excuse me, folks. Lee Beltram. There we go. Now we got her. Now we're getting our sports. All right, more MLB action. The Los Angeles Lakers were a somewhat surprising choice for Andre Drummond when he was bought out by the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Lakers already had two valuable centers in Marc Gasol and Montrezl Harrell. And then even if they didn't, they had just won a championship playing small. Playing time appeared to be in short supply. There were plenty of other contenders that seemingly had more to offer. The Lakers and was rewarded with 24.8 minutes of playing time per game. He never once came off the bench for the Lakers, and now we know why. Mark Stein of the New York Times reported in his Tuesday newsletter that the Lakers needed to promise Drummond a starting position in order to convince him to sign with them. Sneaky. That starting role could not have been a given. The starting five that the Lakers used earlier this season featured Marc Gasol at center, outscoring opponents by 13.9 points per 100 possessions, but the team as a whole started to struggle when Anthony Davis got hurt. The Lakers panicked as a result and felt the need to upgrade Gasol's spot. They pursued Drummond in a move that many Laker fans criticized. Gasol, for all his limitations, offered sorely needed spacing, ball movement, and reliability on a defense that Drummond did not. Now, those critics were proven right when Gasol steadily fought his way off the bench and reclaimed minutes. By 6 of the Lakers' first-round loss to the Phoenix Suns, Gasol had been reinserted into the starting lineup, and Drummond was benched outright. Now, the saga as a whole highlights just how different the 2020-2021 roster was from its championship predecessor. Dwight Howard is significantly more accomplished than Drummond, but he felt comfortable sacrificing minutes and coming off the bench for the Lakers. Now, that attitude is necessary to win championships. This year's Lakers, they didn't have that. They didn't have much of anything, let's face it. Injuries would have prevented them from repeating as champions anyway, but it's a lesson for Lakers to carry into this offseason. If players need promises to commit to a championship pursuit, they're probably not that great a fit for a team with such ambitions. And that part is true. All right. And in the NFL news, Julio Jones got a new number from the Titans. That's right. For the first time in his NFL career, Julio Jones won't be wearing his number 11 when he takes the field this year. Instead, the former Falcons receiver will be switching to number 2. Jones actually had the option to wear 11 in Tennessee because it was offered to him by A.J. Brown, but the Titans receiver revealed on Tuesday that Jones shot down the opportunity to wear a number that he wore for 10 seasons in Atlanta. Now, here's what Brown had to say about the situation on his Twitter page. Number 11 until I retired. I tried to give it up, and he wouldn't take it. Respect. When Brown said he tried to give it up, he's not kidding. As early as April 28th, Brown made it clear that he would be willing to give his number to Jones if the Titans were able to pull off the trade. Well, after the trade went down on Sunday, Brown said that he was Aichimaka. Let's try that again, but this time don't let that fall. Okay. Where are we here? Okay. After the trade went down on Sunday, Brown said he was already working on getting a new number so that Jones could have 11. Quote, I'm in the works with Coach Mike Vrabel about something about the number, Brown said. I tried to switch to number 1, but it didn't go through. But I'm trying to be a good teammate and look out for him and, let him go out on the right foot. But we'll see. All the jersey purchases could stop for a while. Just give it like a month until we find out what's going on, end quote. Now, Brown is a huge fan of Jones, and he actually took some credit for the trade after the Titans acquired the Falcons receiver, and that's mostly because Brown spent more than a month doing his best to recruit Jones to Tennessee on social media. Jones has worn number 11 since his rookie year in 2011 with the Falcons, but now he'll be switching numbers for the first time in his career. After the Titans trade for Jones, one theory was that the 7-time Pro Bowler might switch to number 8, which was his old college number at Alabama. However, that's not going to happen, as the Titans officially announced Tuesday that Jones will be going with number 2. And that is indeed good news for undrafted free agent punter James Smith, who now doesn't have to worry about giving up number 8. As for why Jones picked number 2, he never said anything about that yet, but it's possible that he's looking at it as keeping 11 because he's now wearing 1 plus 1. Logical, don't you think? It is. It is truly logical. Alrighty. Here we go. More sports news for you while we reach for the top. We already did that. I think we did. Oh. Okay. Well, as you know, the U.S. beat Mexico. As you know, when the two teams meet, both fan bases get, shall we say, a little territorial. Well, what can we say, but this was definitely territorial. United States men's national team defender Mark McKenzie was the target of racist abuse online this past weekend following the team's 3-2 win in extra time over Mexico in the CONCACAF Nations League. The Ghent defender, who is black, was targeted after helping the U.S. win the first-year trophy and build momentum ahead of next month's Gold Cup. The amount of, McKenzie wrote on Instagram, the amount of racial abuse and personal attacks on myself and family from supporters, non-supporters, just ain't worth it, end quote. U.S. coach Greg Berhalter spoke to the media on Tuesday ahead of the friendly with Costa Rica and was fed up with what transpired. Quote, it is absolutely disgusting, things like that. It has no place in sports. You take enough criticism about performance and guys having off games and saying you're not a good player. To bring something like race into it is absolutely disgusting and totally bounds. And after seeing the fight for racial equality in the game across Europe, Berhalter backed his player. Quote, now it hits closer to home. We support Mark 100% and don't stand for any of that. We have absolutely zero tolerance for stuff like that. And the U.S. will take on Costa Rica tomorrow in a friendly ahead of the Gold Cup in July. World Cup qualifying begins later this year for the Red white, and the blue. All right, 6 minutes before the hour of midnight, before the midnight hour. That's right. Our score is sponsored as always by William Hill Sportsbook. Let's make it interesting, but do it responsibly, as they say. So, kind of looks like might be a little move to expand the college football playoffs. Why? Well, we're going to tell you all about it right now. College football playoff expansion discussions are moving faster than anyone initially thought. Doubting the CFP held to 8 teams is all but assumed at this point. But expansion may not stop there. Multiple industry sources tell the folks at CBS Sports, quote, expansion is coming, and it may be as soon as this summer. It might even be more than, quote, 8 teams, end quote. An FBS athletic director who recently spoke with their league's commissioner told our friends over at CBS Sports. There we go. Yahoo Sports reported Tuesday that 12-team model was favored by multiple parties. CFP Executive Director Bill Hancock's bold assertion the bracket could expand to as many as 16 teams, found in the 17th paragraph of an otherwise sleepy April press release, ignited increased speculation. The SEC is going to push 12 because of their brand. Using 12, a group of 5 ADs told CBS Sports on the condition that they remain anonymous. Now, 12-team field will presumably allow for 6 automatic bids, Power 5 conference champions, and the top-ranked group of 5 teams along with 6 at-large bids. Now, while the SEC might not be overtly driving the discussion for 12 teams, such a structure would likely benefit the game's most powerful conference. In an 18 bracket, the SEC would all but be guaranteed 2 spots annually. In a 12-team bracket, that number could be 3 or 4 teams given the current strength of the league and how well it performs in the rankings. Outgoing Pac-12 Commissioner Larry Scott told the New York Times on Monday that he expects a decision in principle by the commissioners next week when they meet June 17th and 18th in Chicago. Incoming Pac-12 Commissioner George Kilovikoff came out in support of expansion in what was a prominent part of his introductory press conference. Talks have also progressed since April. A working group made up of Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby, Mountain West Commissioner Craig Thompson, SEC Commissioner Greg Sant, and Notre Dame AD Jack Swarbrick, chairman of the group, will update their peers next week. The president who oversee the CFP will meet on June 22nd in Dallas. That should be presidents. Now, it's not clear when a detailed expansion announcement could come. The commissioners could recommend one or multiple models to the presidents next week, though it seems to be coalescing around the final decision on the future look at the CFP by coming by September at the latest. A meeting between the CFP Management Committee, the commissioners, and CFP Board of Managers, the presidents, has already been scheduled for that month. Now, driving the discussion now are several factors. Obviously, there is money. 2 industry sources said, depending on the size of the field, an expanded playoff could be worth 2 or perhaps even 3 times more than the current $7.2 billion that ESPN is paying the CFP. The average annual payout of the current deal is $475 million. Scusa. Significant part of the discussion is less about access. Oh, excuse me, I didn't read that last part. Payout of the current deal is $475 million. However, typical media rights deals, the payout is backloaded to increase in the final years. A significant part of the discussion is less about access and more about enhancing the value of the regular season. A sort of payoff fatigue has formed around the recent stranglehold Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Oklahoma have put in on the game. No shit. Now, we could go to 24, and you might still have Alabama and Clemson playing for the championship, said one person with intimate knowledge of the process. Concern was expressed that ESPN's Who's In advertising campaign for the CFP has drained interest from the second half of the college football season. The source wasn't the only one who thought the playoff or bust mentality had impacted interest. Are they kidding? It's been dull. A growing number of athletic directors and coaches have also been critical. There's been enough thought on the subject that one Power 5 source speculated about the impact of a 24-team field. Quote, you'd have half of the FBS that would still be alive in November for those slots. We're not going to 24, but theoretically, that's what I think we can accomplish with this. Now, college football has long tackled the Cinderella Factor. An expanded bracket would at least make it more possible for a group of 5 program to have an automatic berth, such as a team playing for the national championship simply hasn't happened in the 23-year history of the BCS and the college football playoff system. While technically no team gets an automatic berth, now with 4 at-large bids, an undefeated Power 5 program, well, they're going to be given far more consideration than an undefeated group of 5. In the CFP, the highest-ranked group of 5 conference champion is guaranteed only a New Year's Six Bowl. It must make it into the top 5 to be in the playoffs. Cincinnati, 2020, UCF, 2018 were the highest-ranked group of 5 teams in the CFP era. Both finished number 8. Last month, before playoff discussions had become more focused, several sources told our friends at CBS Sports that group of 5 access was going to be a tipping point. There will be a lawsuit if they don't give the group of 5 an automatic berth, one group of 5 AD said. To me, that's a non-starter, said MAC Commissioner John Steinbrecher. If a guaranteed spot is not there, why are we doing it? We set up a rather anti-competitive system. Again, no shit. Since 2013, the FCS has put 24 teams in NC2A-sponsored playoff. That represents almost 1/5 of the FCS membership. In FBS, only 4 of the 130, or 3%, get in the college football playoffs. In the end, the presidents will have to be convinced that an expanded field can preserve whatever level of integrity, and I should put integrity in quotes, they attach to a process. Now remember, this was a group that in BCS days drew a line in the sand. No more second semester football. Then 2019, major college football played its longest season ever, lasting 143 days. Approving expansion of the bracket and the timing of actually changing playoff field are 2 different things. ESPN and the college football playoff folks still have 5 years left on the original 12-year deal. When there were 3 years left on the contract, Hancock said no expansion would happen for at least 2 years. Now, ESPN's motivation to do a new deal inside the contract would cost certainly. That would keep the CFP from hitting the open market, unless and until that contract runs out, ESPN has exclusive negotiating rights. Now, as far as the Bulls are concerned, tearing up that deal and installing a new one could be pretty disruptive, according to a source. It's not that it couldn't be done, but the New Year's Six Bowls all have contracts aligned based on current CFP. For example, the Rose Bowl gets traditional best available Big Ten and Pac-10 and Pac-12 teams in years when it doesn't host the semifinal. An expansion, the quality of those teams could be very much. Those selections might be moved down a peg, and one or both conferences have 2 teams in an expanded playoff. After the 2016 season, Ohio State played in the CFP despite not winning its division in the Big Ten. That left Big Ten champion Penn State playing in the Rose Bowl against Pac-12 USC, which had finished second behind Colorado in the Pac-12 North. Now, the Rose Bowl had to be convinced to give up its exclusivity to its two traditional conferences to join BCS in '98. 8 times since, at least one non-traditional team has played in the granddaddy of them all due to BCS and CFP commitments. In an 18 field, speculation is centered around 5 automatic qualifiers from the Power 5, something that wasn't possible with only 4 slots in the current way we select them. One source said that there might be no automatic berths in the expanded field. However, weight would likely be given to conference championships. And they lived happily ever after. So we'll just see what happens in the future. Ooh. Boy, that was a long read, but look at it this way. We made it to 12:05. It's 5 minutes after midnight. It's midnight in the Oasis. Midnight at the Oasis. All right. Let's get you some more sports. We're going to talk football. So let's do that. Get you some scores from tonight's action. Brief reminder, there is no AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite this week because of the NBA playoffs. They will be back on live Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern on TNT with a big announcement from Cody Rhodes. Let's hope it's something newsworthy and memorable. All right, let's kick off with a little bit of the feet ball, shall we? And speaking of some international friendlies, we got some for you. Let's start it off. New Guinea over Kosovo 2-1. Nigeria and Cameroon tied at 0. Benin and Zambia tied at 2, as did Poland and Iceland. Hungary and the Republic of Ireland ended up in a scoreless tie, while the Czech Republic beat Albania 3-1. Spain beat Lithuania 4-0. Morocco over Ghana 1-0. Senegal over Cape Verde 2-0. France over Bulgaria 3-0. In Euro under 21 qualifying, Austria over Estonia 2-0. Sweden over Luxembourg 6-0. Kosovo over Andorra 2-0. The Faroe Islands over Armenia 2-0. In World Cup qualifying, the South American division, Peru beat Ecuador 2-1. Venezuela and Uruguay ended in a goose egg tie. In the World Cup qualifying South America, Colombia and Argentina went ballet. That's right, they went 2-2. The World Cup qualifying North and Central America, Cuba over St. Vincent and Grenadines 1-0. Haiti over Nicaragua 1-0. Puerto Rico over Guyana 2-0. Trinidad and Tobago and beat St. Kitts and Nevis 2-0. In the other North and Central America World Cup qualifier, it was Montserrat over Grenada 2-0. 2-1. Montserrat advances. All right. Now let's, excuse me. I'm doing my dang shirt. All right, it is, people. We got some news for you from the media world of sports, or the sports world of media, either way. Well, it kind of looks like those of you who are fans of Fox Sports NASCAR coverage, you might be seeing Clint Boyer, no Jeff Gordon. Fox's NASCAR booth may be heading for more changes. Jeff Gordon joined Fox Sports for the 2016 season, signed a multi-year extension with them in 2019, working first primarily with Mike Joy and Darrell Waltrip, then with Mike Joy alone in 2020 following Waltrip's retirement. And then with Mike Joy and Clint Boyer this year. Now, as Adam Stern at Sports Business reports, Gordon is considering exiting his Fox booth role after this season to increase his role at Hendrick Motorsports. And this is the article, and we quote, Fox Sports NASCAR analyst Jeff Gordon is weighing his future with the network after this season, according to sources familiar with the matter, and he could leave the booth to take on a larger role with Hendrick Motorsports. His exact final decision for what he will do after this year is not known, but sources say that while he's enjoying the new three-man booth this season with first-year analyst Clint Boyer and longtime play-by-play man Mike Joy, he also finds the prospect of taking on a bigger role with Hendrick Motorsports, who, let's face it, is king of the road, as an intriguing prospect. As a result, he's considering whether to leave the booth after this season. In this case, it'll be after the All-Star race. Fox's half of the NASCAR Cup Series season, which it splits with NBC Sports, ends after this weekend's All-Star race at Texas Motor Speedway. You can catch that on Fox Sports 1. For the 49-year-old Gordon, taking a step back from the booth will likely allow him to spend more time with his family and devote time to other projects. Gordon is the sole minority owner of Hendrick Motorsports after he got a lifetime contract in 1999, and he's been eyeing a more active role at the organization for years. Of course, this may not lead to anything, as Stern mentions. Gordon told him back in 2017 that he was unsure if he'd stick with broadcasting after his first year expired following the 2018 season. And in January 2019, he wound up not just signing a multi-year extension, but calling it a no-brainer. So he may well again choose to stick with Fox. Still, Gordon has been talking about a larger role at Hendrick for some time. He mentions that in both of those pieces. And he said that it would be tough for him to combine that with broadcasting from a time perspective, and that's agreeable. And if Gordon did wind up doing more at Hendrick, that might also present more conflict challenges with his booth appearances. So talk of him leaving the broadcast booth to increase his Hendrick role certainly doesn't seem out of the question. What will happen? Well, we'll just have to see what he decides, and if he does leave, we'll see where Fox goes next month with their booth. Hey, maybe they'll steal Jimmy Johnson. Could be. Okay, let's keep this up. Yes, Kevin Durant, once again. It's been quite the few weeks for athlete comments made supposedly just to a media figure being aired on air. First, there was Julia Jones' phone call with Shannon Sharp live on Shannon and God, I had his name in my brain. Shannon and Sharp? No, that was Shannon Sharp on Shannon Sharp and oh God, who does host Undisputed? Skip and Shannon Undisputed. Thank you. Wow. Isn't that something? You think you know something. All right. There we go. With Skip and Shannon Undisputed, which reportedly didn't come with any notice to Jones that he was on the air. The situation that's now popped up with Jay Williams and Kevin Durant is a bit different, but there is some overlap, specifically on the ESPN show on Mike Greenberg's morning hot take parade, known as Get Up, Tuesday. Williams relayed quite the comments from Durant on air amidst a wider discussion about him, saying Durant once got mad at him at a holiday party for making an on-air comparison of Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo. For some reason, ESPN sub-brand The Undefeated tweeted the clip, and we can't air the clip. So a couple of years ago, we were at a holiday party, and I came on this show, and I did a segment with you, and I said we had Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant. If Anthony Davis and KD were to have a baby, the similarities physicality-wise would be like Giannis. I go to a holiday party, and Kevin comes up to me like, yo, don't you ever compare me to Giannis. Don't you ever compare me to Giannis, end quote. I go, KD, what are you talking about? I was just talking about similarities physicality wise, size, length. He's like, no, don't you ever compare me to Giannis. So when I see that matchup, you know what that matchup says to me? It says something personal for KD. That's why he's attacking each and every day. That's who he's attacking each and every day. That's who's been in his brain because people have talked about him and Giannis being on the same level. That's the intensity you're seeing in this rivalry. Yeah. It's worth noting that Durant called this whole thing a lie. In the comments of a post on from sideline sources, and wow, you gotta read it on the twits. Now, there are a couple of different things at play here. First, and most importantly, there's Durant disputing this account as a lie. It's unclear that if Durant is actually saying that there was never any conversation with Williams along those lines, or that there was a conversation, but Williams is relaying it inaccurately. Either of those complaints is a problem for Williams and ESPN, but the former option is worse. If Williams created this story from whole cloth, that's a bigger problem than if he said Durant remembers the conversation from years ago differently. But of course, the latter option there isn't great either. It shows a big problem with relaying comments from a year ago party live on TV, and particularly in doing so with the exact phrasing and quotes that try to present the story of Durant said this thing this way. And trust me, it's not exactly kosher. Okay? Meanwhile, back in the NC2 Alpha, with less than a month before Larry Scott's tumultuous, and that's being kind, tenure as the Pac-12 commissioner comes to an end, with former MGM executive George Kliavkoff replacing him. Well, Scott conducted an exit interview with the New York Times that was posted on Monday, and while many of the answers are none was rosier than his response to a statement about the Pac-12 network. It devolved into a comment about the conference's current rights deal and its upcoming rights deal. I'm very bullish on the value of college sports rights in general, but the Pac-12 in particular, because conference is in the position of owning its rights. The value of premium college sports continues to increase, and I think it validated the entire strategy. The challenges, of course, have been that while we had the biggest TV contract to college sports in 2012, other conferences have had a chance to redo their deals. Our time is coming in 2024. I'm highly confident the conference is going to see a massive increase in its TV deals. And while I don't personally doubt that the conference gets some sort of increase, but I also think a lot of that deal will be dependent on what happens with other conferences, most notably the Big Ten. Conferences, pricey rights deal with ESPN and Fox expire in the summer of 2023, and it seems logical for both to pursue renewing at a premium, of course. Yes, of course. The Big 12, which also has deals with ESPN and Fox, also would like to be a priority for those networks, and their rights deals expire in 2024, same as the Pac-12. However, the Pac-12 could have an opportunity in the form of CBS. Following their loss of the SEC rights to ESPN following the 2023-24 season, CBS could be in a position to add rights to another conference, be it the Pac-12, Big 12, or Big 10. Now, it doesn't seem likely or financially feasible for ESPN to retain the rights to all three of those conferences. along with their exclusive SEC and ACC deals that may open the door for CBS and the admittedly theoretical competition. But illustrating conferences between three networks could have benefiting all three, even the lowly Pac-12. Scholars briefly discussed the Pac-12 network and opined that maybe the conference should have taken a shorter-term deal. Again, no shit. Well, whatever happens, it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to say preseason for the Pac-12. See if this is the year they can survive. I hope they do do. Anyway, that's our media scope for now. And guess what? We are right in the midst of time. But everything has gone haywire now in the script. Come on. Come on. Ah, boy. Okay. Hey, we're at least still on. Okay, but our the script here is not functioning. Come on. Come on, what's going on? Okay, well, fear not. Luck has a way of bringing out the best. Okay, hang on. There we go. Hello. You're back with us. How nice. Okay, time now. As it is, we have about 9 minutes left before we say bye-bye. Let's get you the most important thing to say is scores. Oh, we did forget one thing. That's right. So let's correct that thing by going to the Wordish of Scoredish. That's right. It's time for minor league baseball. We brought you the big leagues. Now we go to the mini league, the minor league. And let's see, we start first with AAA. Bottom of the ninth inning, Sacramento and Reno are tied at 3. Final scores, Las Vegas 5, Albuquerque 4. Worcester 11, Syracuse 4. Dunham 8, Charlotte 5, Scranton Wilkes-Barre 7, Buffalo 5. Louisville 9, Toledo 3, Lehigh Valley 4, Rochester 2, Norfolk over Jacksonville 4-3. Columbus over Iowa, 8-5. El Paso over Round Rock, 11-0. Oklahoma City over Sugar Land, 9-6. St. Paul over Omaha, 4-1. Indianapolis over Nashville, 6-1. Tacoma over Salt Lake City, 7-3. Gwinnett and Memphis have been postponed. They'll make it up tomorrow. Oops, and I just blooped there. Okay. We go from AAA to AA. See if the action is fast and furious on that line, and it is. Portland over New Hampshire 9-8. Altoona over Akron 7-6. Bowie over Binghamton 12-0. Richmond over Harrisburg 4-0. Rocket City over Tennessee 8-7. Reading over Hartford 5-2. Erie over Somerset 8-2. Pensacola over Chattanooga 9-3. Montgomery, the Biscuits over Birmingham 5-2. Mississippi over Biloxi 10-6. Springfield over Arkansas 8-6. Tulsa over Wichita 8-3. San Antonio over Midland 4-2. Northwest Arkansas over Frisco 7-6. Corpus Christi over Amarillo 10-6. We've gotten the triple. We've gotten the double. Let's go. Hi! Top of the 8th inning, Vancouver over Spokane 8-5. Top of the 6th, Everett over Eugene 7-5. Bottom of the 6th, Tri-Cities and Hillsborough tied at 4. Final scores: Winston-Salem over Greenville 6-4. Lansing over West Michigan 2-0. South Bend over Wisconsin 7-5. Lake County over Fort Wayne 8-3. Dayton over Great Lakes 8-7. Aberdeen over Bowling Green 10-1. Quad Cities, the Quad over Peoria 6-3. It worked. Beloit over Cedar Rapids 5-4. Rome over Asheville 5-0. Suspended game in the top of the 3rd. It'll be completed on June 9th. Wilmington to Jersey Shore were postponed due to rain. That will also be made up on June 9th. And Hudson Valley and Brooklyn, they'll be made up on June 9th, postponed for rain. Greensboro and Hickory postponed due to rain. They'll make it up on June the 10th. And from the high A to the low A to the bicuspid A, here we go. Top of the 9th inning, San Jose leads Stockton 7-5. We're going to call that. End of the 8th, Fresno, Blanken, Modesto 9-0. St. Lucie over Palm Beach 12-6. Lakeland over Dunedin 7-4. Fort Myers over Jupiter 7-4. Delmarva over Lynchburg 3-2. Fayetteville over Down East 3-0. Clearwater over Tampa 2-1. Carolina over Kannapolis 8-3. Salem over Fredericksburg 3-2. Charleston over Columbia 3-1. Rancho Cucamonga laid waste to Lake Elson over 15-4. The Inland Empire beat up on Visalia 8-1. And in a game that was suspended in the top of the 5th due to rotten weather, Daytona and Bradenton ended up in a 2-2 tie. They'll complete that game on June the 9th. In Myrtle Beach and Augusta, they were postponed due to inclement weather. No word on when that will be made up. All right, now let's wrap this thing up with a look at the international sports scene. And we do that with pride, if no prejudice. Okay, whoa, hello. You want to get back here? Thank you. Okay, in Spanish basketball, Valencia over Real Madrid 85-67. Baseball in Japan, Chibalati Marines over the Yakut Swallows 7-4. Futaki for Chibalati gets the win. He's 3-3. Okugawa gets a loss for Yokohama. No, for the Yakut Swallows. He's 2-2. Cebu Lions over the Yokohama Bay Stars 8-3. Matsumoto for Cebu gets the win. He's 5-3. Peoples for Yokohama gets a loss. He's 2-2. The Fukuoka Hawks and the Hiroshima Carp ended in a 1-1 tie. No winners, no losers. No big deal. Oric Buffaloes and the Yomiuri Giants also ended in a 3-3 tie. No winner, no loser, no big deal. Rakuten Golden Eagles, a 5-2 winner of the Chunichi Dragons. Kishi got the win for Rakuten. Kishi got the win. He's 3-4. Yanagi gets a loss. He's 5-2. All right, in South Korea baseball action, the Hanwha Tigers defeated the Kaiwoon Heroes 4-2. The win goes to Kim Min-woo from Hanwha, 7-3. Jake gets a loss. He's 2-3. LG Twins dominate over the NC Dinos 2-1. Kim Young-suk gets the win for the Twins. He's 3-1. Lim Chang Min gets a loss. He's 0-2. Lottie Giants over the Doosan Bears, 18-9. Franco gets the win for the Giants. He's 4-3. Park Young Soo gets a loss for the Bears. He's 3-1. Samsung Lions blanked the Kia Tigers 7-0. Baik Zhonghuan gets the win for Samsung, 5-4. Li Yu Li gets loss. He's 3-2. And KT Wiz Swang defeated the SSG Landers 4-2. Ko Young Pyo gets the win for the Wiz. For the KT Wiz Swang 4-2. He's 5-3 in the record. And the loss goes to Zhou Yong Yu for the Landers. He's 0-6, so he is winless. And guess what, folks? First time ever, we made it through an hour. Glad to have done it. And we'll see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Steve, the Backsman Baxley, and I thank you, everybody. And by the way, special thanks to Nina, Lorena, and Mandy for last night, giving the Lugnuts a little love. My chat name being Lugnut6. So they gave a little love, and so I give them love back. And Mandy, you are still one of the best. You are truly carrying the torch. You are among the many that are carrying the torch for Comicsgate and breathing, as I keep saying, a new life in an industry that literally was about dead. That's going to wrap it up for me. I am Steve, the Backsman Baxley. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports in association with YouTube. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Good night, and we hope to see you tomorrow night at 11:30 Eastern. Good night, everybody.
Your birthday's May 20th, right?
Yep, it is.